Hey everyone, welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading. Today is March 28th, 2021. Today I'm going to be looking at SPX, S&P 500, some targets to the upside and to the downside. I'm going to be looking at the market as it just opened an hour ago. I'm also going to be looking at some key watch list names like Apple and Tesla, and Roku and NVDA, and a bunch of other key names that I'm going to be looking at heading into tomorrow. Keep in mind that the market is closed on Fridays, so it is a shortened week. With that being said, here is ES, which is SPX futures. We did hit a high of 39.68 to close out Friday's session on futures, and we are a little lower here at 39.50 support. Okay, I'm going to switch over here to the SPX chart. But before I do that, make sure you head over to thewealthymentor.net and check out our Discord group. We offer great watch lists. Every day we update them along with swing trading watch lists, low cap names, along with commentary on our Discord group with regards to options trading entries and exits. We offer technical analysis, help, and a bunch of other things that will definitely help you as a trader. Okay. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends as well. Here is SPX on the 5-minute time frame. As you guys can see here, we did hit 39.78, just a few dollars away from all-time highs. I am going to switch over here to the 4-hour chart to give you guys a basic look of where we're at. Okay, as you guys can see here, we do have all-time highs near at 39.84. So heading into next week, I am looking at that 39.80 to 39.84 to break for potential take profit targets at the 4,000 psychological, and I also have 4,010 as my next target. Overall, the market seems bullish, and it is showing a bullish breakout posture. So I'm definitely looking at that 39.80 to 39.84 going into tomorrow. If we cannot break that, we do have support here at that 39.60 to 39.50 level. If those 2 points break, this would be my first confirmation, the 39.60. My second confirmation would be 39.50 for shorting positions down to 39.20 to 39.30 level, and 3,900 as my next profit target. Okay. Overall, I'm going to switch over here to the 1-day time frame. And as you guys can see here, we are still very much bullish. We did drop down as low as 37.30. Market bounced all the way to making all-time highs. Push as low as 38.50. Buyer stepped in, big long wick right here. And now again, we are testing all-time highs heading into tomorrow. Okay, so that is SPX on the daily and the 4-hour time frame, and I am pretty bullish on the market. Okay, first name I'm going to be looking at as part of our watch list in Wealthy Mentor Trading is Apple. Not much on Apple. I am going to switch over here to the 4-hour time frame. Not much going on. Similar levels that we talked about last week. I am still looking at a break above the 127.50 and 129 levels. Heading into tomorrow, I am looking at a break above 123 for potential take profit target at 124.50 as my first target, and my second target would be that 127.50 level. Again, if you are a more conservative trader, definitely look over that 127.50, 129 level for your entries. To the downside, as you guys can see here, we did have strong support at that 116 level back on March the 5th. So if we were to break 120.50 and 119, definitely look for take profit targets at that 117 for your first target and 116 to close out your shorting position. Okay, that is Apple on the 4-hour time frame, and we are pretty much still neutral until we see these key levels break at 127 and the 116 level. Okay, that is Apple. Next name I want to look at is NVDA, NVIDIA. NVIDIA saw some weakness, but again, much like Apple, we are stuck into that range from that 535 down to the 500 level. We didn't do much last week, and we did bottom out at that 495 level. As you guys can see here, these multiple wicks represent buyers stepping in and holding support, meaning that 495 to 500 level is strong support, and bears could not push below that, and buyers protected that line right here. So going into next week, I am looking at that first confirmation of 515 to break. My next confirmation would be that 520 for potential take profits at that 530 and 535 level. If you are a more conservative trader, definitely look over that 535 level for potential take profits at 543 and 547. To the downside, I am looking at that 500 to 495 level. That is strong support. If that were to break, I am looking at shorting opportunities with my first target set at 484 and my next target set at 468. That's to the downside. Overall, I am not very bullish on NVDA at the moment. It's more like neutral. So for me, these key levels of 535 and 500 are key for me. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on those two levels heading into next week. So that is NVDA on the 4-hour time frame, and I am neutral on NVIDIA. The next name, Tesla. Tesla has seen some significant weakness since its all-time highs at 900. Over here, we do have the 4-hour chart. And last week, we did dip as low as that $600 mark, again, before bulls stepped in and protected that psychological $600 area. Heading into next week, as you guys can see here, we did close just above support at 620. 630, 640, and 650 are my targets to the upside. However, if you are a more conservative trader, look for targets above 650 for potential take profits at that 664 and 682 mark. To the downside, if we do break psychological support at 500, I am looking at first take profits at 585 and 570 as my two profit targets. 560 if we were to really sell off and retest these lows down here back on March the 5th where we hit 540 is very much possible. Just looking at the posture of this trend right here, we can potentially go as low as 540. So keep that in mind heading into next week, and that is Tesla. Next name I want to look at is ROKU, ROKU. ROKU has again seen some significant weakness from its all-time highs, and we are in a downtrend, retesting these levels at that 300 mark. Here is ROKU on the 4-hour time frame. As you guys can see here, we did have a rough week on ROKU, dropping all the way from the 360 area as low as the 300 psychological area where buyers did step in momentarily. We did close Friday's session just above support, 300 support. So going into next week, I am looking at that 310, 320 mark. My entry area, my 310 would be my first confirmation zone. That if that were to break, that would be my first one. My second one and my entry point would be above the 320 mark. Take profits would be 332, 340, up to the 350 mark. If you are a more conservative trader, definitely look for entries above the 340 mark for potential take profits at 345 and 350. 360 is definitely a possibility if we want to retest these levels here, which we hit back on March the 22nd. To the downside, if we cannot hold psychological support at 300, I am looking at 288 as my first potential take profit target, and my second potential take profit target would be that 284 to 280 mark. I am going to switch over here on the daily time frame to give you guys an outlook. Here is ROKU on a top 1-day time frame. And if we cannot hold that $300 mark, we do have this support over here at that 280, 284, 288. So definitely look for some push down to this area right here. And as you guys can see here, the breakout was the $270 mark. So a retest of 270 is highly likely if we do see weakness on Roku heading into next week. Okay, guys, that is Roku on the 4-hour and the daily time frame. Another name, PTON, Peloton, PTON. Much like Roku, we did have all-time highs here, and we've been dropping down ever since. Peloton is one of those names that did succeed during the pandemic due to people using their exercise machines and not being able to go to the gym. But that being said, we do have strong support here at that $100 mark. As you guys can see here, we wicked down, pushed back above of it, tried to go back and test 120. Again, retested that $100 mark, pushed back up. The bounce got weaker. The first bounce was at 120. The next bounce was at 117. And here we are once more bouncing off that $100 mark. And it looks like one of those dead cat bounces. So if 100 can't hold, and if we do test it once more, and again, guys, the rule is the more you test a support or resistance zone, the weaker it gets, and potentially it breaks down or goes higher. Depends on how you're looking at the chart. So in this instance, if we retest 100, and if bulls aren't able to step in like how they did here back on the 5th of March, we could definitely see levels of 95 and 88. Personally, I would like to see 100 as my first confirmation break, and my next confirmation would be an entry to the downside. So a short below 95, hitting targets at 88 as my first one, and 77.50 as my second take profit target, which we did have price action here last year, back in September the 11th, 2020. To the upside, let's just say this is not a dead cat bounce, and we finally do break. What area am I looking at? Well, again, I am looking at that 117 to 120 area as a conservative trader, but as a day trader and options trader, I am looking at that 109, 111 mark for my entry point. 114 would be my first take profit, and my second take profit would be that 117 to 120 area. So that is Peloton on the daily and the 4-hour time frame. Another name that I want to look at is Square. Square is closely correlated to Bitcoin. And as you guys have been seeing, that Bitcoin has held its own and it's still hovering around that $55,000 mark. So to me, that means I'm still bullish on Square. So heading into next week, what am I looking at? I am looking at that 117.50 to 120 mark to break for potential take profits at that 222, 227 to 230 mark. If you are a more conservative trader, I'm just going to switch over here to the 4-hour time frame to give you guys a proper entry point. If you are a more conservative trader, definitely look over that 230 mark. As you guys can see here, we did form a bear flagpole, right? Pushing down again, pushing down once more. So to negate this downtrend, I am looking for entries above the 230 mark if you are a swing trader, a conservative trader. As an options trader such as myself, I am looking at the break of 214 as my first confirmation. My next confirmation would be that 217.50 mark. My take profit would be that 220.50 to 222 mark. 227 would be my next take profit if I am bullish on Square. And of course, as you guys know, if the markets are pushing higher, as you guys know, SPX is near all-time highs, so that definitely helps. Along with Bitcoin prices moving higher, that definitely helps. So look for Square heading into next week based on Bitcoin's bullish posture as well. To the downside, let's just say we cannot break these key levels to the upside. We do have strong support at that 206 down to 201 area. As you guys can see here, multiple long wicks represent buyers stepping in and holding this line of support. So below 201, I am looking at 197 and 193 to 192 area as my potential take profits to the short side on Square. Okay, guys, that is Square on the 4-hour and the daily time frame. Another name I want to look at is BA, Boeing. Boeing was pretty bullish a week ago, hitting 278. We did push as low as 233, tested that area here, which was the breakout area back on March the 10th, which led us to the 278. As you guys can see here, we came back down and retested that area, right? And you guys can see this right here, huge 4-hour candle, volume also confirming it, meaning buyers stepped in at that 237, 233 area and protected it. Here we are now pushing higher. Monday, I am looking at that break of 250. If 250 were to break, 260 and 268.5 are my take profit targets. To the downside, again, if we cannot hold that 237, 233, 234 area, I am looking at take profit targets on a shorting position to the 226, 220, and 216 area, where we did have price action right here before the breakout back on February the 24th, 2021. Okay, that is BA on the 4-hour time frame. Keep your eyes on that one. Another name that has seen a lot of weakness, closely correlated to much of the EV sector, and that is NIO. NIO is the ticker. NIO very bullish right here at that $67 level. We did have some consolidation here, and we finally pushed down, tested that $32 area. Buyers stepped in, held that support, retested 47, and here we are again in danger of testing that $32 area. So going into Monday, I am looking at right here that $36 area to break. As you guys can see here, we are on the border of that. So if 36 cannot hold, I am looking at that $34 area as my next confirmation. So 36 was my first confirmation. 34 on the break of that, I would look for shorts to hit 32 as my first target and $30 as my second target. Keep in mind, guys, we did have strong buyers step in right here. So that $32 area is strong support. So if you are shorting at 34, please take profits at 32 and reevaluate your position afterwards for continued weakness and re-enter to get that next profit zone at that $30 area. To the upside, conservative traders enter at 47. Day traders, options traders, definitely look over that 36 to $38 area for an entry for potential take profits at 40.50 and 43 and 45 as target zones. Okay, that is NIO on the 4-hour time frame. Another name I want to look at is Zoom, ZM, the ticker. Zoom, again, another one of those stay-at-home stocks, work from home, succeeded during the pandemic. Zoom right here has been consolidating around that 355 down to the 305 area. We did hit 305 here back on the 8th of March, protected that area, pushed as high as 355, and here we are again in danger of breaking 305. We did close Friday's session at 319, so that was a healthy sign that we did close midway. So going into Monday, 326 is my area that I would like to see break. If that were to break, first target 342 to take profit, second target 356. If you are a conservative trader and don't want to get caught up into this price action right here, look over that 356 area for potential take profits at 366 and 374. To the downside, if bears push down and can't push down and break 305, look for 290 and 282 as potential take profit areas to the downside. But keep in mind, 305 is a strong area of support. So definitely look for convincing volume to the downside, look for market condition weakness, look for sector weakness, and also look at other key names that succeeded during the pandemic to also push down to give yourself as many clues as possible before shorting Zoom at that 305 support level. Some other names I would like to look at is DKNG. DKNG, DraftKings has been into this weird zone from the $75 area, all-time highs, back to that $60 area. We did have support at 60, which buyers did step in and hold. I am looking at 65 to break for my potential entry, for $70 take profit targets and $75 as my second take profit target. Guys, DKNG is one of those names that we have on our secondary low cap watch list. So these are for members that are trading on a higher time frame and also don't have time to consistently look at a chart and are holding positions for 1 week, 2 weeks, or even months. So if you are interested in something like that and you don't have time to look at a computer screen 24/7 or day trade, and you are interested in swing trading, definitely head over to thewealthymentor.net. Check out our Discord group. Offers great services for day traders, options traders, swing traders, and investors. Okay. To the downside, if DKNG cannot hold $60, I am definitely looking at 58 and 55. I would not short 60 down to 58. I will definitely look for a break of 58 for potential take profits at 55. Buyers did step in there, so keep that in mind. However, if buyers don't step in and it does push lower, 52.5 is my next take profit area. Again, buyers stepped into there too. So these are two key levels where you can take profits, and definitely look for a bounce if it goes down as low as 55 to 52. Okay. Another name that I'm going to be looking at that is closely correlated to Bitcoin. It is RIOT. Again, this is one of those names on our swing trading watch list. This name is correlated to Bitcoin, along with a bunch of other names. We did have 85 as all-time highs. We are consolidating between 68 down to 40 going into Monday. I am looking at $54 to break. Above 54, take profits at 61.5 and 68 as my next take profit zone. If you are a more conservative trader, definitely look over that $68.50 mark to break. As you guys can see here, since the uptrend at $84, our next swing high was $68. So we haven't been able to break that, and has proved to be strong resistance. So if you are looking for an entry and you want to be sure of that entry, definitely look for that $68 to $71 to break for potential retests at 79.5 to $85. To the downside, if we cannot hold 48, definitely look for $40 to be retested. It has hit there once, 2 times, 3 times, and it was the breakout period area on February the 11th, 2021. So $40 is strong support. It is the first take profit area, along with a second take profit area at $36, which we did have again support here, wicking down as low as 36. So those would be my areas to the downside for take profits. To the upside, like I mentioned, above here, above 54, up to the $71 area for conservative traders and day traders. All right, guys, that's all the names that I want to talk about going into next week. Keep in mind, the market is bullish. We are at all-time highs, near all-time highs. Definitely look for that 4,000 psychological, that big magic number to break, or at least hit there. We could definitely hit 4,000 and dip back down. So keep in mind, guys, to always take profits. Don't be greedy. Take profits, reevaluate position. Also look at your position sizing as well. Many day traders that I see over leverage their position sizing. You know, I would enter at 1 or 2 contracts if you're entering options, and slowly scale into more when you see other key levels break. So keep that in mind. Also keep that we do have Friday session. The markets are closed. So if you are buying 1 week options or 2 week options, keep that in mind that Friday is basically a dead day, and then Thursday is basically your Friday. So Wednesdays would be your theta burn, and you definitely want to close your positions because time is not on your side. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining Wealthy Mentor Trading. This is the Sunday stream, and today is March the 28th. I'm looking forward to big things going into tomorrow. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.